Hello all. Those that know me will know that in amongst the CE5 UK leadership group, I have often delivered what I like to call Sifu's lesson of the day, where I pontificate on the teachings of the ancients on a subject I feel is relevant at the time. As such, I have been asked by the leadership team of CE5 UK to address the seeming possibility of the UK, EDI, or the EU, and NATO potentially barring all discussion of the UFO phenomenon on the internet and what this means for the CE5 movement. To fully do this, I must first insist on us all taking a step back. Please bear with me. We all know by now that CE5 is the theory that ETIs can be contacted via altered, mainly heightened states of consciousness, and it appears to be the ultimate goal of many in this group. However, I feel a major point has been missed and or forgotten along the way. I often use the study of martial arts as analogies towards CE5, mainly because it's what I know. It's what I do. It's what I am. It's what led me to the quest and study of higher states of consciousness. But this comparison is also highly relevant. Within the CE5 movement, I see the same patterns of behaviour and journeys of personal growth even, that I've seen and experienced 1,000 times over in the world of martial arts. The journey is thus. We set out with an end goal in mind. In this instance, contacting ETIs and proving unequivocally that we are not alone. We are taught by a lot of reliable sources that the route to this is via altered states of consciousness. So we begin a quest to hoover up as many lessons and sources of information we can find and do our darndest to put them into practice to contact ETIs. This process I recognise well. It's one I went through 20 odd years ago when I wanted to learn how to fight like Bruce Lee, like most kids my age. My primary focus was on that end goal, to be able to fight. You know, the analogy here is to be able to contact ETIs. It wasn't until many, many years later and many, many lessons later that I realised I was completely missing the point of these lessons. I was trying to learn to fight, in bracket contact, ETIs, rather than to genuinely alter my state of consciousness. And if I was trying to alter my state of consciousness purely to obtain that one end goal, was I actually entering a higher state of consciousness, or just fooling myself? I realised it was the latter. Another analogy to help this out would be if you asked a Christian vicar or priest that if you are praying purely to avoid hell, will that work? And they will say, no, you need to actually live the values and believe in the values and really work on yourself for it to stick. Elevating the state of consciousness should be the end goal. Becoming the best we can be. Getting really good at martial arts or being able to contact ETIs are merely a bonus prize. The main prize is our own and humanity's evolution. When you really pay attention to Dr. Greer's documentaries or listen to and read accounts of ETI contacts that have been made, including my own, the instructions we are always given are not actually instructions in how to contact ETIs, but in how to elevate ourselves and our consciousness. Contact with more enlightened beings is then the next most logical and natural step. It's not something that can be forced. So the real idea of CE5 is to elevate ourselves and our consciousness. So with that having been said, what are the implications for CE5 in relation to the much feared and speculated regulation and suppression of the internet community? Well, let me fill you in some parables here. In 1581, Oda Nobunaga invaded the province of Iga, Japan, destroying every village and killing every single soul his army encountered. His aim was to try and eradicate their teachings, Over 200,000 murders were committed to suppress the ideas of the Eiger. The point is, though, the majority of you, I guarantee, have never heard of Oda Nobunaga. But I also guarantee all of you, without exception, have heard of the Eiger and their teachings he allegedly suppressed. The Eiger are also known as shinobi or ninja. During the Cultural Revolution, Mao's forces stormed Mount Tai, Mount Wudang, and Mount Hua, burning temples, killing priests, and forcing them into exile, pillaging thousands of scriptures and artifacts with the goal of eradicating Taoism. But today, Taoism is more widely studied than ever before. Deng Mingdao's books sell in their thousands, and some of the biggest martial arts schools in Europe have Taoist roots and teachings. Again, the point is thus: no matter what you try, how much you suppress, you cannot kill an idea. You cannot hide the truth. You cannot ban wisdom. When you have the idea of heightening your own consciousness, striving for your own evolution, no government regulation or law can ever prevent that. Your freedom is inside you, inside your own mind. For those who have read the book or seen the movie V for Vendetta, and for those who haven't, I highly recommend doing so, the underlying message of this story is often misunderstood. Yes, it is a warning of unchecked governmental power and a tale of the triumph of the revolution representing freedom. But its main theme is this, and it's even overtly said by the central protagonist V: you cannot kill an idea. A good idea is like a pebble tumbling down a mountain. It does not need to exert force or its will. Its own natural momentum can create an avalanche that cannot be stopped. So come what may, this is what we must remember. CE5 and the quest for higher consciousness is a good idea. And a good idea cannot and will not be stopped. It will find a way of its own accord. All we need to do, as ever, is to work on ourselves. Shishi, and thank you for your time.